Good morning, friends. Welcome to the Volpe Creates Show, episode 40. This is our morning community conversation about game development in the gaming industry. I'm Chris, and we're going to talk about creativity today. I'm probably not going to do a full episode, one, because I'm exhausted, and two, I need to go prep to take my friend to his doctor's appointment. So I need to get some things done before that. But there is a lot of grumbling on the internet, and I always remind people, when you're talking about the internet, you have to remember that 50% of it is bots that are just regurgitating nonsense. And then, 10% of the remaining 50 is going to be trolls that are just trying to rage bait. So take that for what it's worth. But there's a lot of constant arguing about the lack of creativity in the video game industry, the movie industry, entertainment industries in general. And on the one hand, I agree in some way. There is a lot of stuff coming out that is really not worth its weight. Just rehashed mechanics, rehashed ideas, not particularly innovative experience in any particular way. But if you know where to look and you're paying attention, or hell, you just go to Metacritic and pull out the top games, you'll see that there's a lot of really good stuff. And that doesn't count even the games that you might enjoy, even though they're not generally considered like some of the best of the best. You're still allowed to enjoy games because, one, everybody's a little bit different, right? But also, sometimes you're just not in the mood for a particular game. I have started Elden Ring, I think, 3 times and stopped playing it after maybe an hour or so because it's just, nothing against the game. I know the game's amazing. I'm just not in the mental, emotional space to spend 100 hours getting my face punched in. Which is funny because I just played Clair Obscur on expert difficulty for my first playthrough, and that's a pretty challenging game that has some, dodging elements and whatnot, similar to like Elden Ring or Sekiro or whatnot. But I was just thinking about it this morning before I jumped on. I was going to pull some article out and we talk about the article, but I was playing a game this morning and I was like, you know what? There is a lot of really, really good stuff out there. Just in... Oh, you want to get up, Sweets? Where you go? Come here. Come here. Or you don't want to... I don't know what you want, Sweetie. She sits here next to me and then says she wants to get up and then... Come on. All right. Whatever. But I was playing this game this morning, and I was just thinking about how much creativity there is in the industry. So, just over the past 2 months, and I have not had a ton of time to play games because I've been very focused on helping my friend with his illness. But just in the past 2 months, I've played Control, plus the 2 DLCs, which were... amazingly creative and a lot of interesting stuff in there. The Seventh Guest, which is the remake, which was one of my favorite games as a kid. That game's just oozing with, these like cool vibes and puzzles and whatnot. Bug Snacks, which is the Game Club game for this month, which is just a weird, fun game involving insects and animals that are also like food items. So there's like, a strawberry that's like I think it's like a hermit crab or whatever combinations. And it's just a really fun, cool game with a lot of interesting ideas so far. Even mechanically, as simple as it is, there's some pretty cool ways to like combine the elements so far. Excuse me. And then I just beat Clair Obscur and got the platinum trophy on that, that game is absolutely oozing with creativity around every corner. Its gameplay is great. Its story is great. And so I think that if you really focus on kind of cutting through the noise, then there is plenty of stuff to play. So I'm going to pick up, this is Metacritic. This was done July 2nd. So about 20 days ago. These are the best games of 2026 so far. So the first one is Phonopolis on PC. It's got an 84. Wax Heads, which I've heard about, but I haven't played. That's on PC. That's got 85. Pragmata, which has an 85. And that is on multiple systems. Esoteric Ebb, I've never heard of. That's got an 85. Timberborn, I have heard of. That's got an 85. Cairn, which was one of our Game Club games, that has an 86. I need to go back and finish that. That's a perfect example of a game that I just wasn't in the mental space for when I first played it. So I do want to go back because there were times I'm enjoying it, but I'm also sort of like I'm acknowledging within myself I'm kind of emotionally inaccessible right now, maybe a little broken because of what's happening with my friend. Monster Hunter, people like Monster Hunter. I'm not the biggest fan. Mixtape, I think I'm going to make Mixtape the Game Club game for next month, I think. Opus, Pism Peak, I haven't heard of, but that's got an 86. Just a side thing here. I actually played Mixtape at the oh my gosh, what was it? It was one of the GDC events. Oh man, I'm totally forgetting. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I played that there in March, which was pretty cool. Neo 3. I've never played the Neo games, but I know people like them. Titanium Core's got an 87. Hermit and the Pig. So a lot of these are PC games that are in the indie space. So there's plenty of cool creativity happening there. Saros for PS5. I played that, platinumed it, really liked it. The new 007 game. I have not played that, but I know people speak fondly of it. That's got an 87 on Metacritic. Mugenics, my friend, same friend who has cancer, he played the crap out of this game when it came out, and he loved it. That's got an 88. Resident Evil Requiem, another game club game that Volpe Creates Game Club. I have not finished that. I need to go back. That's got an 89. The new Pokemon, Poketopia or whatever, I don't, that's cool. I think people really like it. That's not up my alley. Schrodinger's Call, I am very curious about this game. It's got an 89. It's for PC. I hope it comes out on something else, but it seems pretty cool. Yeah. We've got Mina the Hollowers on PC, Forza 6 on Xbox if you're into racing games. So that's just the games that are out that are sort of rated the highest on Metacritic. If you start dipping down a little bit more, generally I think any game that's above 80% and higher on Metacritic is probably going to, blow your socks off. It's probably going to be really good. So I'm just looking up here real fast, seeing if I can search by Metascore for 2026. So we've got to get. I looked this up last time. I'm just gonna. So far we are at. Yes, baby. Mommy. Babes, you gotta come up here, sweetie. Come on. My God. She wants to come up, but she's not getting close enough for me to grab her. I am... Wait, what was that? That's weird. Chrono Trigger, November 28th, 2000. Oh, this is... Yeah, these are not all 2026 games. What are you doing to me? There we go. It's like, I saw Chrono Trigger, and I'm like, what? That don't make sense. Okay. So, we are... Okay, there are currently 79 games that are on Metacritic. Of course, there's more. But for just this year, 2026, there are currently 79 games that have an 80 or above for 2026. So a lot of great stuff to play, probably more than the most average person is going to be able to play in a year, because most people are not playing games like it's a full-time or part-time job. So anyway, the point here is that if you know where to look, you can find really good stuff. And of course, that comes down to discoverability and curation, which is a very very big topic in entertainment because more stuff is being produced now than ever before. But searching through and finding the good stuff is that's the challenge, right? And I would love to just have some kind of club that presents the best games to you. Maybe I'll create something like that. Not that I don't have a shortage of other things to do, but I think there's a lot of really good stuff out there. I just don't have the time to play all these games. Plus, I predominantly play on PlayStation, so that cuts out a lot of the really cool a lot of really cool PC games that are out there in the indie studio. But then also, that's one of the reasons I throw my Expo GDEX, because it gives me a chance to see all these kind of cool new ideas that are coming up in the world. So, something to keep in mind. If you want to come to GDEX, feel free. But we'll take a couple minutes and just talk about Clair Obscur for a second. I beat that. That game is astounding. From the moment that game starts to the moment it ends, there is something new and creative around every corner. There is so much the acting, the story, the art and aesthetic of that game. All of the games that I mentioned today, Control, Seventh Guest, Bugsnax, and Clair Obscur, they all have a much different, aesthetic to them, but they all have their own vibe, their own feelings. And there's a lot of games that are doing that are trying to create something new and unique and original for themselves and their experience that they're creating. But anyway, anyone who's not played Clair Obscur should go play Clair Obscur. It is absolutely astounding. I know the fact that it's turn-based has turned people off. I would say it's an active turn-based game, which adds a lot. No. There you go. Which adds, I think, a lot to the... let's see, Pumpkin's here. I know. She likes to sit in this little part of maybe I need to adjust my desk. She likes to sit in this part of the desk, but then she clicks against the microphone, or she pushes this microphone off the table. So maybe I need to do some rearranging on my desk to give her a place to be. But anyway, I was just consistently blown away by what that game does, how it builds its worlds, it tells its story, how it plays with its game mechanics. Like, it's constantly taking its core gameplay loop and flipping it around on you. And whether that's like optional, bosses or side quests or whatever. And the other thing too, and maybe this is a little bit too far in the other direction, is like there are side quests, but like there's no waypoints. Like nothing on the overworld map. It might say like, oh, go here, but there's no waypoints in the level. So it's all about exploring and adventuring. And it doesn't have that, Ubisoft style checklist of things to go do. It's just like, hey, here's the world. Here's your main objective. If you get side quests, you kind of have to remember what they are, because most of them aren't like terribly difficult to like, you're not doing a lot of complex things, but it's not this checklist where you go to the menu and like, okay, I'm going to do this quest next. Like, you just don't do any of that. You just explore the world and discover what's going on. And I think that's just, in today's world, that is just like, it's just such an older school style of games. Sorry, I'm getting stuffed up. It's weird. Every morning now when I start doing the show, I'm getting like kind of stuffed up. Maybe there's something around my desk. I have like mold somewhere. But it's really, it's just a fascinating game. I think I'm going to do a review on it because I think the game's incredible. But it's one of those things, and it was made with a relatively small team. It was, like 30-ish core members and then other folks that helped. And it was a community effort in a lot of ways. I heard the people that helped them with their animations and their cutscenes and stuff, they just reached out to. But every enemy is unique. They all have like unique movement patterns that you have to like learn. It's just a foundationally wonderful experience. So I highly recommend that anybody who has the chance go and play it. and take your time to just be in the world. Again, I felt like I kind of rushed through it a little bit, and I should have taken more time to really enjoy the experience. But it's just like I'm so brain dead right now with everything. But what I think I'm gonna do, since I just platinumed it, is I'm gonna go play a couple other games. Alan Wake 2 is next on my list. Another game that's just oozing with creativity that people speak highly about. They say it's Remedy's best game. I played that a little while ago for Game Club, but we didn't get a chance to finish it. So I'm going to go back and play that from the start so I can be ready for Control when that comes out in September. And then after GDEX, maybe in the winter, I think I'm going to come back and play Clair Obscur again. I might challenge myself and do like a one character run or something like that. But it's a fascinating game to come out in 2025 in a world of games that are just very, very similar. And it's no wonder that it won so many awards, because it's just a beautiful experience. And so if you're there, you take your time to absorb it and enjoy it. I'm enjoying Bugsnax a lot. I know that was like a launch game for the PS5, so it's like 5 or 6 years old now, but I've been enjoying that, just kind of bouncing around. Like it's you can't die, it's a much more low key experience than Alan Wake 2 or Clair Obscur is going to be, or Control. But it's one of those things where there's just a lot of fun, unique things going on in Bugsnax. And so if you're looking for a fun game that's not too hyper challenging, and you can just kind of explore and figure stuff out, then I would highly recommend Bugsnax. I think that's a really good experience. But also, again, I'm just going to keep saying Clair Obscur, Clair Obscur, Clair Obscur, Clair Obscur. And then also there's a few games coming out this year that are going to be, I think, pretty high. Of course, we've got GTA 6, which I don't know. I mean, I am going to choose to be on the optimistic side and say it's going to be like a creativity fest of all sorts of interesting ideas. And I think Rockstar knows what they're doing, and they're trying to make a really, really strong, I think they're trying to make GTA 6 the best game they've ever made. So we'll see if they do it or not. But I for one, am excited to play it. I do think that there are some issues that I have, thoughts on, that I've said in other videos about how they're choosing to sell their game and everything. But as far as the game itself goes, I'm sure it will be a wonderful experience. But yeah, I think for now, I just want to remind folks that there is a lot of creativity in the industry. In the movies, there's been some really, really great movies happening lately. Obsession, I think, was a remarkable movie. Nirvana, the show, Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, or whatever, is one of my favorite movies this year. I think that was really fun, really creative, really heartfelt. So there's a lot of really good stuff out there. You just got to kind of find it. And so, do a little bit of research, try not to be in this cynical mindset, and try to find those experiences that really speak to you, and know that not every game is going to speak to you at every point in your life. You might come back a month later, a year later, a decade later, and realize that this game really does it for you. I mentioned in my talking about Control. First time I played Control, it didn't speak to me. I wasn't in it. I kept getting lost. And the second time I played it, I was prepared to sink into it and really enjoy it. And I think that's a game like Clair Obscur. Be prepared to kind of sink into it and be a part of the experience. If you're just looking for something to do to knock off quests and get through the game, I think you're going to probably be missing a lot of that experience. So take that for what it's worth. I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here, like I said, a little bit early, just because I have to go get prepped to take my friend to the doctor. But reminder, I try to do this every day at 9:30 Eastern time in the mornings. I have been missing some, again, helping my friend. But I try to do these. I stream on twitch.tv/volpecreates. Then I also post these onto my Volpe Creates YouTube channel. So please spread the word, subscribe, like, share, all that stuff. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, everyone.